Hi friends! Today in our gospel reading we heard a story about two men who were walking along the road with a man whom they didn't know was actually Jesus. Now, before we get to more of the story, I want to show you here. I've got a picture of what? Can you guess? Yeah, it's a tree. And you could tell it's a tree. Now, I want to show you what happens when I put it in my dish. Wow. It's actually an apple tree. That's pretty cool, isn't it? You couldn't tell that it was an apple tree when I first showed you the outline of it, but when I put it in my dish, you could clearly see that it was an apple tree. Now, in our story today, when the two men are talking to this man who is Jesus along the road, they say to him, "Sir, don't you know these things that have happened?" And he says, "What things?" And so they go on to tell him all about how Jesus was crucified, how he was dead and buried, and how he rose. And they were telling that to Jesus, right? And so eventually they invite Jesus into the village with them to stay. And so it tells us in verse 30, when he was at the table with them, he took the bread and blessed it and broke it, and he gave it to them, and their eyes were open and they recognized him. So when they were talking to him as the man on the road, they didn't know that it was Jesus. But when he broke the bread, when he did something that they remembered from when Jesus was with them, they knew. And friends, in the same way that you knew that I showed you a picture of a tree and didn't know it was an apple tree until I put it in the water, we don't fully understand what's going on in our world right now. But we do know that God knows what's going on. In his word in the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, God tells us this: "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as high as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So friends, even when we can't fully see what's going on, we can trust that God knows completely what is going on. Be well, friends.